I'm sitting here with former professional basketball player and recent doctoral graduate in psychology, John Amaechi. John, I really appreciate you taking the time to sit down with me and answer a few questions.
No problem at all.
Let's start with the NBA. You played in the NBA for a number of seasons and played professionally in Europe. Right now the NBA is really trying to expand into Europe. Recently had successful games in the O2 this season. What do you think of their European expansion efforts, particularly how it compares to existing European basketball options?
I don't think that the NBA is any particular threat to existing European basketball. I mean, certainly outside of Britain, the leagues are so strong in most places, even when you look to parts of Eastern Europe. The leagues are so strong, so sustainable, so competitive that they are the everyday, they are the bread and butter that fans want. They want to have local teams, young people on those teams who they've seen grow up in their area, and that's what we see here in Spain. It's what we see in Greece. It's what we see in Italy. It's what we see everywhere except pretty much Great Britain, where the basketball is just really poor at the professional level. But I think even in Britain, we kind of embrace the fact that improving the image of basketball, improving the popularity of basketball, improving the awareness of basketball is universally a good thing.
You know, basketball, you've kind of mentioned, is kind of a second-tier, number 2 sport compared to the popularity of soccer or football in Europe. Can the NBA bridge that gap? Will they raise the profile enough?
I think sometimes people get caught up on who's number one, and you know, I'm not even sure if basketball is number one universally across Europe. Football, sorry, is number one universally across Europe. I think in some countries it is, but I think you start looking at Spain, even with the craziness behind the 95,000 people jamming in to watch, FC Barcelona. And the fact is that, yeah, you don't get 95,000 people to a basketball game, but they're still sold out every game almost here. So for them, they don't have to be number one in terms of numbers or revenue to still have a very successful basketball program. And that's how I think the NBA looks at it. They're not coming. I don't think they want to come to Europe to take over. I just think they know that more people being involved with basketball, more people recognizing the brands in basketball, especially theirs, and more people acknowledging it as a main sport helps drive everything from selling T-shirts and shoes through to getting the next great European star into the NBA, which is what they want.
So you think their approach over the last couple of seasons, slow and steady, introducing more games, is a successful one?
Yeah, I mean, certainly in Britain, I've seen that it is successful. We started off with exhibition games. We started off actually before that with little taster sessions where they came over with a couple of old players. They rolled, myself and Deke Dikembe Mutombo and Darryl Dawkins usually are the three in England, and they roll us out and kids enjoy some basketball sessions. And now we've got to the point where it's not just exhibition games, but now it's the first regular season games that are being played, and I think it will develop from there. I know that, the Commission has not been shy about it. He wants to have European franchises. And considering the distances that you're talking in the States, going from Orlando to Los Angeles, there isn't that much in it to go from the East Coast of America to Europe.
It's a good point. Let's move over to social media. I know you're an active Twitter user.
True.
And so are a lot of former and current professional athletes. There's no question the power of it as a tool to communicate with their fans. But everyone kind of does it in a different way. Some more honest, some more engaging than others. What do you see as being so successful about Twitter, and maybe what athletes should be doing better with social media?
I think Twitter. Excuse me. I think Twitter is a way that athletes can have more authentic relationships with their fans, yet without the craziness for some of the really famous guys of actually being in the room with them, which sounds awful, but it really is. It's a useful tool if they use it that way. I personally put on there all kinds of stuff, everything from the bad mood I've just had and what's going on around me to plugging events where I'm going to show up and be talking at a university or whatever else. I think the problem with Twitter comes when people use it like it is just a marketing tool, and then all of a sudden fans get turned off, I think, when they see all you're really saying is show up at this place and watch me, show up in this place and pay to watch me, show up in this place and watch me, rather than learning a little bit about the characters.
You make a good point. For me, one of the things that I found most interesting about social media users is they're very responsive to good content, and if you're not, they just as quickly tune you out. The users are very sophisticated now, so if you just become a self-promotion engine, it doesn't work.
People know it. People know it. And the problem with Twitter is that we've seen now, it can get you in trouble if you are just you. If you say uncensored, unfiltered things on Twitter, it can get you fired. So you have to be, savvy with it, but at the same time understand, like you said, that the people consuming that are sophisticated and they don't want manufactured tweets.
That's a good way of putting it. One other question for you today. We're here in Barcelona for the Global Sports Forum, and you're talking tomorrow about diversity and inclusion, particularly when it comes to CSR, corporate social responsibility. And we talked a little bit last night about what is CSR versus what is marketing that's tied to CSR.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate a bit on that?
I mean, essentially, CSR in its worst iteration has become something that companies use to try and reach people with their brand that pays lip service to doing some good. So a food company of some description gets involved in an anti-obesity initiative and they go and visit schools or whatever, but if after they're done with that, kids haven't learnt enduring lessons that help them to eat well, then it's not CSR, it's marketing. So,
distinguishing between what you feel CSR and what is marketing, what should companies be doing when they're saying CSR? What are the improvements that they need to be making to make that genuine?
I mean, the range of things that CSR is used for is massive now, or is applied to is massive. So it doesn't matter if it's an anti-recidivism thing to stop people from offending, if it's anti-obesity, if it's anti-homophobia or racism. It doesn't matter what the social cause is. If it's educational literacy, it doesn't matter. It's just that it's not CSR if those things don't improve. If young people don't have command of more language afterwards, if young people don't learn things about leadership afterwards, then it's not worked. In that case, it's just a really, often very expensive brand exposure exercise that could have been more easily achieved by handing out some t-shirts.
So, if I'm understanding right, it would probably be better for these companies to better distinguish what is a brand marketing initiative and what truly is a CSR, so they can concentrate their resources and also set better goals and figure out how they obtained those goals on both sides.
Yeah, I mean, what I'm talking about tomorrow is the fact that intent is everything. What you intend from your launch, from your initiative, is everything, because although there is a law of unintended consequences, you do something and something else happens that you could not have anticipated. What we know doesn't happen when you just look at the science is you can't do an initiative that's supposed to be fun for children for an hour and expect magic stuff to happen because you use sports. So because you get Wayne Rooney to show up at a boys' club doesn't mean that the boys in that club are going to better be able to handle their everyday lives, are going to eat better, whatever else that we think. Unless the initiative is designed for boys to have better emotional literacy or better literacy or whatever it might be, then it won't do it, and it doesn't matter if you get, it doesn't matter who you get to show up. It can be Wayne Rooney, it can be your deity of choice. It won't work unless it's designed to.
So it comes down to the design of the program, the goals, and executing with those goals in mind.
Yeah, and even I've been doing stuff with NBA Cares, and the NBA is very clear that it's a brand exposure exercise that's supposed to have a positive impact on the young people in that moment. Hopefully inspire them for the long term, but all that stuff is, they know that is, it's not going to be a miracle cure. It's just a few hours where kids have a great time. And that's very positive, but it's not CSR.
Any other thoughts you have to share on initiatives that you're currently working on that you'd like to share with our readers?
I mean, I have my own charity in England. I have my own foundation. We have a basketball centre. Well, it's kind of a holistic community centre, really, where kids play basketball, some play football. About 2,000 kids a week going through our doors, so I spend a lot of time there. We're about to start the season is not yet over, but we're about to start our summer programming, or organizing our summer programming, and that and work is me done.
Well, it sounds like a lot. It sounds like you're doing a lot of great things. John, I really appreciate you taking the time to talk with us, and best of luck.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.